Hey, what's up, everybody? This is B&J Productions. I'm Jacob, and this is Brandon. And it's been a while, but we're doing our Week 8 picks for today. Starting off in our college football games, we got number 9 Florida versus number 7 Georgia. Georgia is a 6.5 favorite. It's at Georgia. What do you think of this game, Brandon?
This is a great game. I'm gonna say Georgia this week.
Yeah.
I think it's two evenly matched teams. I'll just say Georgia because I want to see Georgia win.
I think Georgia's going to try to have a bounce back week after losing to LSU, and I think they're going to try and get that against a tough Florida team. I don't think Florida's quite ready to be up there at Georgia's level, so I'm going to say Georgia in a really close one, maybe by a field goal. Up next, we got number 18 Iowa versus number 17 Penn State. Penn State has lost 2 games, kind of a disappointing season for them. Penn State is a 6.5 point favorite here against Iowa. Who you got here, Brandon?
I'm gonna say Iowa with the upset. I think Penn State is pretty overrated this year. They're really missing Saquon right now. They are still good, but I think Iowa is the better team coming in right here.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with Penn State just for the fact that it's at home, and Iowa's a little bit overrated. They only have 1 loss, but that 1 loss has come against not a very good team. But, I think Penn State, they have 1 loss against Ohio State, and I'm not sure who the other loss is to, but I think they're a better team here, and I think they're going to win and at a game at home. Up next, we got number 16 Texas A&M versus non-ranked Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a 1-point favorite. Who you got here, Brandon?
Texas A&M right here. I don't even know why Mississippi State is a 1-point favorite. Texas A&M is a great team. They have more losses than they should. They've played really good teams down to the wire, and a few plays here and there, this could be an undefeated team right now.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M only lost to 2 teams in the top 4, and I think Mississippi State is extremely overrated. Nick Fitzgerald can't figure out how to get the passing game in. He can run the football really well, but he can't throw the ball, and I think Jimbo's going to take advantage of that with A&M's tough rush defense, one of the best in the country. I think Kellen Mond and the gang gets it done here in a pretty easy victory over Mississippi State. Next, we got number 14 Washington State versus number 24 Stanford. Stanford's had some tough days the past couple weeks, and Stanford is a 3-point favorite here. And who you got here, Brandon?
I'm going to say Washington State right here. I think Mike Leach in the air raid offense is just going to be too much for the Stanford defensive backs this game. And I think they're just going to out-athlete Stanford, and it's going to be a shootout this game.
Yeah, I think Washington State's going to get a win here. Bryce Love and Stanford, they haven't been very, very good lately, and they had a close win over Oregon. Washington State kind of whooped Oregon last week, and a pretty easy game for them, and I think Stanford is a worse team than Oregon, so I got to go with Washington State here. Next, we got number non-ranked Texas Tech versus Iowa State. Iowa State is a 4-point favorite. They've had some pretty crazy games the last couple weeks. Tech has been pretty solid, beat TCU, first time in years that's happened, and who you got here, Brandon?
I'm going to say Texas Tech right here because they're on a roll right now. They're rolling into this game pretty good. They topped Oklahoma State and then TCU, 2 good back-to-back game wins in a row, and all with their third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to come back with their second string should be back, and I think that they're just going to dominate Iowa State.
Yeah, in the last game, they pulled Alan Bowman out of nowhere when people thought he was going to be hurt the whole game, and a really close game. But I got to go with Texas Tech here, too. They were 26th in the AP poll, just out of the top 25. If they get a win here, I say they bounce back in, especially with the Washington State win over Stanford. And I think this is going to kind of be a really good game, and I say Texas Tech covers the spread here and wins over Iowa State because Iowa State is really good as an underdog, but not very much as a good team. Or as a favorite, sorry. Up next, we got number 6 Texas versus non-ranked Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is a 3-point underdog at their own field. And who you got here, Brandon?
I'm going to say Texas here. Oklahoma State started out the season strong, but I just don't think they're the team that they have been in the past. And Texas has managed to turn around their program, and they have a good team this year. And I think Texas easily wins this at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I got to say that too. I think Texas is pretty overrated for number 6.
Yeah.
And second one out of the college football playoff. But I think Oklahoma State doesn't have what it takes to take down Texas here. But I think it's going to happen with a team like Texas Tech or maybe West Virginia team, but I gotta go with Texas here in an easy one. Up next, we got kind of the most interesting game coming up. We got number 21 undefeated USF, Charlie Strong, former Texas Longhorn coach, versus 6-1 Houston. Houston is a 7.5-point favorite. Houston's only loss comes from Texas Tech at Lubbock. Who you got here, Brandon?
I'm gonna have to say USF here. I think that they're severely slept on. Charlie Strong has built a good team out there in South Florida. I think they come into Houston this game, or is it in USF?
It's in Houston.
It's in Houston. I think they come into Houston this game, and they just play lights out, and I think that they're gonna get it this week.
No, you got to remember, a big thing in college football is home field advantage. In Houston, that's the reason they're a 7.5-point favorite. And I got to go with Houston here and Ed Oliver. I mean, the only reason they lost to Texas Tech was because the defense didn't play well. And I think they've kind of stepped it up a lot. Ed Oliver was getting some Heisman hype a couple weeks ago, but I think he's going to be playing really well, and I think USF gets their first loss this year. Up next, we got our NFL games. Starting off, we got the 3-4 Philadelphia Eagles versus the 3-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. Both teams really difficult seasons, disappointing seasons, I gotta say. And Philly is a 3-point favorite here at Jacksonville. What's your pick here, Brandon?
I'm gonna have to say I think Jacksonville's gonna turn it around in this game. I think that the Jacksonville defense will win this game for them. The Jacksonville defense has been playing fairly good in the last few games. It's just the offense can't really keep up. I think they're going to shut out the Philadelphia Eagles.
Really?
And I think that they're going to win.
Yeah. I think it's really a tough game here to choose because the Jaguars started out really strong. Eagles not so much, kind of slowed down a lot, then picked it up a couple weeks ago. But it's really a difficult decision, and I think Blake Bortles is going to step it up, but I got to give the Eagles the edge in this one. I think they're going to win by a very slim margin. Carson Wentz is going to try to get things done. The front seven was one of the best in football, but there's some things that aren't working for the Eagles, and I got to go with the Eagles in a really close one over the Jags here. The Jags are going to have to do a lot more game plan this next couple weeks to get into the playoffs. Next, we got the 2-4-1 Cleveland Browns versus the 3-2-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. They've already met. Pittsburgh is an 8.5-point favorite here. They were in Cleveland, but they tied at the end. First game of the year. Kind of had some hopeful aspects for the Browns and kind of some disappointing for the Steelers. But the Steelers kind of turned it around, only lost 2 games after that. And the Browns have lost 4 since that game. And so who you got here, Brandon?
This is my bold prediction right here. I think that the Cleveland Browns upset the Pittsburgh Steelers again, but this time not with a tie, but with a win. I think that Myles Garrett has to have a really good game, and Baker Mayfield has to have a great game too. And I think the Browns could do this right now, but I don't think they will.
Yeah,
but I want them to.
Yeah, me too. I think the whole world kind of wants the Browns to do good, but since it's been such a heartbreaking lifetime for the Browns and Browns fans, but I really don't know. I don't think I can bet against the Steelers quite yet. They still got Big Ben and Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. James Conner's been playing really well, and they don't even need Le'Veon Bell. They should have traded him when they had the chance, before the trade deadline passed, and it's still not passed yet, but they should trade him off to like the Jets or somewhere, help them a little bit, get some good picks back. But I got to go with the Steelers here in a close one. Up next, the 3-4 New York Jets versus the 3-3 Chicago Bears. Chicago is an 8-point favorite. Bears started out really strong, then lost 2 in a row. Jets kind of the opposite here, kind of won a couple more, and they're kind of promising with Sam Darnold. Who you got here, Brennan?
I think this game fully depends on if Khalil Mack is 100% at the snap. At first kickoff, if Khalil Mack is 100%, this is Bears easily. If he's not and he can't play, if he's not 100%, first of all, don't play him. Rest him this week and play him next week. But if he's not 100%, this is a really close game. But I think either way, the Chicago Bears still win this.
Yeah. I got to go with my Bears here. They were kind of my pick for a pretty surprising team, and they did that at the beginning of the year. Lost a close one against the Packers, which could have been a win if it weren't for Aaron Rodgers' amazing capabilities. But they've had some troubles the past few weeks, and I think the Bears kind of take a step forward here and kind of prepare for the harder games down the stretch.
Mm.
Up next, we got the 4-3 Baltimore Ravens versus the 4-2 Carolina Panthers. Baltimore is a 2.5-point favorite at Carolina. Who you got here, Brandon?
Right here, I'm going to say Carolina. I think that Cam Newton has a great game here. I want to say he's going to throw for over 200 yards this game, maybe 3 touchdowns. I think Carolina just pulls this one out against a very undermanned Baltimore defense this year.
Yeah. I think I got to go in the opposite direction here. Cam Newton and the Panthers haven't had very many challenges this year. Ravens, on the other hand, have played some really good teams, and they have those 3 losses not because of the way they played, but the way because the other teams have played. And I think the Ravens are going to get a really good game here, and it's going to be probably the best one of the week, I think. And the Ravens are going to get a very close win, kind of get the Panthers stepping back a little bit before the Ravens have a bye week eventually. Up next, we got the 3-2-1 Green Bay Packers versus the 7-0 Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are a 9.5-point favorite, undefeated. A lot of good things happening for the Rams right now. Todd Gurley, amazing playmaking. Green Bay, on the other hand, is kind of taking a step back. Who do you got here, Brandon?
I think that this is the best game of the week right here. I think that Aaron Rodgers is about to step up and show why he is a legend right here, and maybe lead his team to beat the best team in the NFL right now. But I'm still going to say Rams by 3 points, by a field goal.
Here's kind of my bold prediction. I think Aaron Rodgers is kind of getting slept on this year. He's had some good games, but people are like, oh man, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, these guys are so amazing. They're kind of forgetting about Aaron Rodgers, and I say Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers to beat the Rams by at least 10. It's kind of going to take the Rams by surprise. They haven't seen a lot from Green Bay's defense and or offense, but I think Aaron Rodgers kind of takes it to the Rams here, and it's going to be pretty fun to watch, but it could happen. It could not happen easily, but I got to go with the Packers in this game here. Up next, we got Sunday Night Football, 5-1 New Orleans Saints versus the 4-2-1 Minnesota Vikings. Both teams are clicking very well right now. Minnesota is a 1-point favorite at Minnesota, and I think it's going to be I think this is my best game of the week. Who you got here, Brandon?
I think the Saints right here, they are one of the most underrated teams this year right now, because they started this season a little slow, but they're back on track, and they look like one of the best teams in the league right now. Drew Brees breaking so many records this year is definitely going down in the Hall of Fame. Is a little underrated. Is honestly
I think so too.
One of the best quarterbacks in ever in the NFL, and a lot of people don't see him like that. I think Saints pull out a win by a lot right here.
Yeah, I think a lot. Wow, that's a pretty bold prediction there, Brennan. But I think the Saints get this win too, and I think this is the start of Drew Brees' first and last MVP. I think Patrick Mahomes has done amazing for the Chiefs, but I think they should give the MVP to Drew Brees to see what he's doing at an age of 39. I mean, incredible. I mean, he's playing so well. I think the Saints get a really close game. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings are doing really well, but with Dalvin Cook beat up, I think they're a little less of a talented team than they should be with Dalvin Cook, but I got to go with the Saints here. Up next, our last game, we got the 5-2 New England Patriots versus the 2-5 Buffalo Bills. Monday Night Football. Bills 14-point underdog at their home field. And who you got here, Brandon?
New England easily.
Yeah. Not even a debate.
The Bills could be good in a few years, but
not with Josh Allen hurt and Nathan Peterson in at quarterback.
Not right now. This may be a different game, like a year from now, if not everybody's hurt. But right now, New England is just gonna come in and just show them who's dad.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the Patriots are gonna get a very easy victory. Some practice for Tom Brady in the cold, and just pretty easy victory. All right, that's all we have for today. I'm Jacob, and this is Brandon. This has been our Week 8 picks. We will see you later.